Welcome back, everybody. Take a break with Stephen Shamus.
How are you, my friend?
Wonderful, fantastic, great.
No hat. What's the white
no
shirt
hat?
today?
No,
What do you got?
just white tee, man. I'm playing a cool home guide today. Yeah,
and you get married. I got the invite.
It's close. We're getting there. I
will be there. Woo! I have to respond, by the way. I will be there.
You only have 10 more minutes, so let's go. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, when do I have to respond by?
No, today, but that's okay.
Is that true?
Yeah, but that's okay.
Okay, I'm coming.
I know it's okay. Yes,
mark me down as coming. I'm very bad with responding.
Your place cards are on order. You're fine. You're good.
Okay, good. Just know that I'm coming. It's official now because I said it on the podcast.
That's it. It's recorded. We have it. Yeah, that's true.
It's in history. You can never say I never told you so. All right, what do we got today, Alex?
We are gonna. I think this may be our first non-Big Two show. We're gonna talk about properties might have been published by a Big Two, but are not DC and Marvel properties at all. They're all independent or another type of property. We're gonna jump into Grendel. Some big news out of the Netflix world from Grendel. We're gonna talk about God Country. Some more news out of that. Then we're gonna talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Hey, look! The Dungeons and Dragons ride! Wow, neat!
Give me a break.
I don't like this!
Whoa! What's happening?
Whoa! Where are we?
Look.
A new franchise is coming out over that thing that's been around for many years. And we'll talk about Uncle Scrooge.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even plan it that way, though, Alex.
Yep.
I didn't even plan it that way. Okay, what do we got first, Alex?
Yeah, let's talk about Grendel.
So big news, right?
Big news. Good for Matt Wagner.
By the way, Matt's been coming to our shows forever, by the way.
Yeah. Really nice guy, really humble, very loves to talk to people. He's a great guest.
By the way, that book, Grendel, Madman, all those books were always very popular.
Yeah.
Hellboy.
Yeah. Yep.
They missed the mark on the last Hellboy movie, but all those properties were always very popular. When you think about it now, you're like, what took so long with Grendel? And his son works in the industry too. His son has done some good stuff too. So talk a little bit about Grendel. Why do you think it got picked up? What can we expect to see? What do you think about it?
Yeah. So, I mean, Grendel's about long TLDR. Grendel is about a character named Hunter Rose, who is a fake name of another guy named Edward, forget his last name, who is a genius.
Edward Scissorhands?
Not Edward Scissorhands, no, but I'm sure that comic's coming. If not already done, I'm sure it has been. He becomes Hunter Rose, who's a successful novelist, rich novelist, who also is the character Grendel, who is an assassin and essentially kills all the mob bosses and takes over. The book goes past that into descendants, adopted son, and the persona of Grendel being this thing that is taken upon by other people and just kind of move forward. Each story is completely wacky and different from the original story, and it keeps moving on. And for a TV show, you look at Doctor Who. Doctor Who's been going on for almost 100 years now. Why? Because when the actor doesn't want to play Doctor Who anymore, they just get another one and say, oh, it's an alien, he regenerates. How easy is that to keep something moving and going? Something like Grendel, where someone else takes the mantle. I mean, you can do Batman how many times? It's still going to be Bruce Wayne. They'll never do a Batman movie without Bruce Wayne. So, something like this, you can just keep moving. So great property. I'm glad it's coming about because it's, it's just been around for so long.
I'll tell you, and they just bought the Roald Dahl library.
Yeah, the library.
Wonka,
Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Yep. Charlie Chocolate, Willy Wonka, right? Charlie and Chocolate Factory and all. Listen, I know it is Willy Wonka. What can I tell you?
That's it. So it's fine. You're not wrong.
They are scooping it. They are scooping up like crazy. So anyway, this book went crazy.
Yeah, it's always been a good one. It's always been a big one, but not
hard to find.
Yeah,
hard to find, Alex.
Yeah.
Okay. Primer number 2 from Kamiko, 1982. Woo. First appearance of Grendel and Argent, Matt Wagner story, cover, and art. The whole shebang, Alex.
That's it.
37 blue label, 3 gold label, 9.8s. 113 blue label and 7 gold label 9.6s, 134 blue label and 10 gold label 9.4s, and 103 blue label and 11 gold label 9.2s. Very, very tough to find.
Yeah.
9.6 just sold for 3,000, but they're going even higher.
Yeah.
9.0s 1,200, 8.0s 800, $1,000 raw primer number 2.
Wow.
That, by the way, I do remember being in the card shop back in the 90s, I guess, and people were buying that book. I definitely had copies of that. I definitely had copies of that book.
That was a book. People were buying them because it was one of the first Kamiko books. Like, it was one of the first like rounds of books and everything, and people were buying them up. I mean, it was the same time, you know, it's indie 80s independent stuff.
That was a character that people did always buy even back then. Then you have Grendel number 1, March of 1983. Origin of Hunter Rose. The indicia for some reason listed as Scrog of volume 1 number 1, but it's Grendel number 1. Matt Wagner again, story, cover, and art. 11 blue label, 1 gold label 9.8, 41 blue label, 4 gold label 9.6s, 56 blue label, 4 gold label 9.4s. It's about an $1,800 book in 9.6, about an $800 book in 9.4, but those are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Then Grendel number 3 has the origin of Origin. Matt Wagner story, cover, and art. 24. I'm not going to do signature series on these from the 1980s, but February of 84, 24 blue label 9.8s, 38 blue label 9.6s, 26 blue label 9.4s. It's about a $300 book in 9.2, and you can't even find it raw. Like, you can't find these books at all.
Yeah.
At all. Impossible. Then later on, Grendel volume 2, number 1, October of 86, so a couple years later. 23 blue label 9.8s, 9 gold label 9.8s, 26 blue label and 3 gold label 9.6s.
Wow.
24 blue label and 2 gold label 9.4s. Can't find them at all. It's about a $90 to $150 raw book.
Wow.
First appearance of Christine Spar, origin appearance, Matt Wagner story, and the Arnold and Jacob Pander cover and art. There's a second print, which is actually impossible to find. And what you've seen with the Ninja Turtle stuff, is the second prints, third prints, whatever, are still very, very expensive. That came out 2 months later. 1 blue label 9.8, 1 blue label 9.6, and 1 blue label 9.4. You can't even find them raw, period. Jeez. Anything. Then I want you to talk about this Ashcan edition. Batman Grendel Ashcan, DC Kamiko, 1993. It's got a 00 pop, came in Hero Premiere number 2. What is that, Alex?
Hero Premiere is Hero Magazine. It was a magazine.
It was Hero Magazine. They competed against us.
I was going to say, Aiken to a Wizard.
Not very well, and not very long.
Yes, not very long at all.
Not very long.
Yes, I don't remember any. I know I've had some heroes in my life to look through, but I don't think I've ever read one. But it was a premium. It came with the Hero Magazine, so there was, I don't know how many were printed, but I mean, it was number 2, so it's got to be a lot. But the other editions are extremely hard to find.
Very hard to find, and you probably tossed it. I mean, people toss those out.
100%. Yeah.
There's also a silver foil edition.
Yeah.
A 9.60 for $3,000. Double zeros on the pop. Yeah. There's a gold foil edition, which I can't even find anywhere. Double zeros on the pop. I can't. If the silver was 3,000, I can't imagine what the gold foil was.
Yeah. Impossible.
Wow. All right. That does it for Grendel, Alex. What do we got next?
Let's talk about a little Donny Cates, God Country.
Yeah, so this book has exploded, Alex. What is going on with this book? It's crazy. What is going on? It was
picked up by the same production company that made Sweet Tooth, and we all know how great Sweet Tooth was. So it's gonna bolster these books very quickly.
What is God? What is God?
It's the weirdest. It's a very simple but weird book. It's about an older gentleman who has Alzheimer's. His family's taking care of him. A tornado comes through Texas. In the middle of the tornado, there's a sword that calls out to this Alzheimer's man. He gets a sword and becomes, clear-headed and has to fight these gods who come to try to grab this sword. The sword is sentient. It gives this man clarity. It picks this man to be its welder. And essentially, he's just fighting off gods left and right in his own small little Texas town, trying to take this magical sword.
And it's one character. It's one guy.
Yeah, one guy. 6 issues. One and done.
So that's it.
That's it.
Alex, this book is on fire. Did you see the prices?
Yeah.
Okay. God Country #1, January of 2017. Jeff Shaw and Dave Stewart cover. 597 blue labels, 172 gold label 9.8s. That's a pretty decent pop.
That's big. That's very big for a modern
$350 to $375 for blue label.
Yeah.
2017. Donny Cates story, as you said.
Yeah.
Then there's the Gerardo Zaffino. And by the way, I love Gerardo Zaffino. His Hawkman.
Yes.
His Hawkman is incredible. He's my favorite Hawkman artist. You know, it's like Joe Bennett does the Hulk. Yeah. And I like the way Joe Bennett does the Hulk better than anybody else. I like the way Gerardo Zaffino does Hawkman better than
anybody
else.
I'll agree with you there. No arguments.
I don't know what it is. He's got the character nailed.
Yep.
Anyway, Gerardo Zaffino variant cover, a 234 blue label, 61 gold label 9.8s. That's about $75. Then you get into all these 25th anniversary editions. Do you know what these 25th anniversary editions are?
Yeah.
Blind boxes?
Yeah. Image made these blind boxes to celebrate their anniversary, and they made 1,992 because in 1992 Image Comics was founded. And they sent, you could order some through Diamond, and there was only so many to be ordered. So, stores could only order so much. And each box came with a bunch of comics, and each comic was blind inside. You didn't know what you were going to get. And there was a ton of different variant covers, original art, blank covers, like stuff that you're only going to find in these boxes once, and that's it. They're gone.
These books are on fire, Alex.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
On fire. I don't know if they released print runs. I couldn't find them. But 25th anniversary edition, Zaffino cover, different Zaffino cover.
Yep.
58 blue label, 36 gold label 9/8. It's a $300 book, $75 raw.
Wow.
Okay. Then there's the sketch edition. 23 blue label, 24 gold label 9.8s, $200 raw.
Wow. That's crazy.
Okay. The 25th anniversary Virgin edition, 3 blue label, 4 gold label 9.8s, $350 raw. Then there's a 25th anniversary Virgin sketch edition, 7 blue label, 5 gold label. That's a 9.8. That's a $600+ book, but it's $350 raw.
Wow.
Then there's a blank edition sketch cover. I can't even find them at all. I don't know.
They're in somebody's holds waiting for the next show to open up. Yeah.
Maybe. Then the second print is a red. I call it the red cover because it's predominantly red.
Right.
Jeff Shaw and Dave Stewart, red cover, second print, February of 2017, 132 blue label 9/8, 12 gold label 9/8. That's about $100. The third print came out in March. It's blue.
Yep.
55 blue label, 0 gold label 9/8. That's about $130 book. The fourth print came out in April. It's the white cover, 78 blue label, 5 gold label, 9.8, and that's about a $200 book. So a lot of stuff to unpack there, Alex. A lot of expensive stuff. The blind box turned out to be a real winner for everybody.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of books out there.
All right, now it's time for Alex's pick of the week. I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it.
No, because I think you saw my post on Instagram, but it's not about that. I think I've talked about my Police Academy collection before, but maybe again later on the road. Abrams Books is putting out a $150 poster book for all the old Third Eye Marvel Blacklight posters. And it's going to be a 20 by 30 book. So it's going to be the original size. And I saw it and I wanted, obviously, it's $150, but those, I don't know if you've ever remember those Blacklight posters, but they're,
I got to look it up. How do I find
amazing.
it, Alex?
Just type in Marvel Blacklight posters. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
There was posters that were put out, and it's mostly Jack Kirby art, and they're made for blacklights. You would put them up in your room, you turn on the blacklight, and there it is.
I know what these are.
Yeah, super colorful, super high colors. They're reprinting the book again. It's a 20 by 30, so they're ready to be framed. They're poster size, they're big, but the original posters, even beat up and with like tack holes in them, you're looking at $300 to $400 a poster for those original blacklight posters. They are not cheap.
Yeah, these are cool.
Yeah.
The Galactus one is
It's awesome. It's awesome. And for $150, I mean, if you frame 5 of them, it's completely worth it. This book is great. I don't think it's out yet. I think it's supposed to come out in August, but it got pushed back. So that's my pick, man. I think you should grab one of those. They're awesome, especially if you're a fan of Kirby art. Super neat.
Is your soon-to-be wife going to allow you to put one of those up?
Well, I have my own little room that I can move stuff around in here to find it. Everything in this office is I can do whatever I want with. Everything out.
Got it. What's next, Alex?
Keep talking about nerdy books. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Another book that has shot up recently. You know what kills me? I had long boxes of these books.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean these are the constant like 50-cent dollar bins things. You know,
Alex. You know, my mom jokes with me all the time. She's like, you always tell me, oh, you had a box of this, and I'm like, we did have a box of this and a box of that. Like, and now they're $500 a book. If everybody kept them, they wouldn't be $500 a book.
That's it. That's exactly right. Plus, you know, it's not this. Your superhero comic buyers aren't looking. These were specifically for your Dungeons and Dragons crossover people, not necessarily comic book collectors.
Crazy. So let's talk a little bit about Dungeons and Dragons, Alex. I think I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons, so I was not a big fan of the game. But if you could talk a little bit about Dungeons and Dragons, and they had some cartoons and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, there's been cartoons, a toy line. There's been a movie. I think they're doing another movie. That's why this book's really hot right now. You know, this is a franchise, Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, this has been around for many years. I mean, it's you know, it was definitely the basement kid dweller nerdy game, but I mean, now a ton of people play Dungeons and Dragons. There's a whole TV shows. Critical Role makes. I mean, that's their bread and butter. They're playing role playing games. You know, I didn't get until I was as an adult, but I mean, it's fun. It's something that is not going away. Role playing games are huge because of Dungeons and Dragons. So you know, why not?
This book has picked up a lot of steam recently.
Yeah.
So, and I remember, it was not a short printed book.
No,
I recall.
Yeah. The DC. Yeah. This is a DC book. Again, not a DC property, so we're still in the realm of not big too. But it was a DC printed book, so of course they're going to print 1 million of them.
Yeah. So the book was actually called Advanced Dungeons and Dragons #1.
Yeah.
December of '88. I do remember this book coming out. I do remember having lots of them.
Yeah.
The book sold pretty well. Just you can't find them in 9.8s anymore.
Yeah.
37 blue label, 4 gold label, 9.8. It's about $500 now. Crazy. That's based on the TSR role playing game. It's a Michael Fleischer story, Jan Duursema cover and art. So that's another interesting one. And I think we're about to close up with another nostalgia one, but a new take. A new take on a nostalgia book from 2020. What are we talking about, Alex?
Uncle Scrooge, my favorite DuckTales uncle.
Yeah, so this is a wacky one, and we see this from time to time where we pull out single issues. There's one particular issue that has just absolutely exploded in value. Can you talk a little bit about the Scorpion Comics version? Why would they do this version? And why would these books be selling for so much money?
I think you're just looking at the world, the comic world right now, and you're looking at things that are quick and low print. And this is definitely a quick and low print. I mean, the Uncle Scrooge comics that were coming out by IDW, I don't want to, they weren't print low, but I mean, it's still an independent publisher. IDW is still an independent publisher. Disney comics aren't as a huge hit as like a Sonic is. Sonic is your mainstay of single issue kids books. And those numbers never really hit for Uncle Scrooge. And those properties bounce around all over the place. I mean, it's Gladstone, it was Dell, it was Gold Key, it was Marvel, it was, you know, everybody was doing something with these characters. And now people are seeing these print numbers. I mean, the print run numbers are so low on some of these incentive books.
Yeah. So Scorpion Comics did an Uncle Scrooge with a Del Otto cover. By the way, it's a phenomenal
It's
cover.
Del Otto. Yeah, of course.
Right. It's probably the best Uncle Scrooge cover.
Probably.
Out there, quite frankly.
Yes.
So Uncle Scrooge #1, October 2020. There's a Del Otto cover. 74 blue label, 3 gold label, 9.8s. I'm sorry, this is for the Virgin edition.
The Virgin, yeah.
There's 666. That's an interesting number, right?
Yeah.
666 Virgins. That sounds funny. About $150.
Yeah.
There's the regular edition from Scorpion Comics, which they call the variant cover.
Yeah.
111 blue label, 1 gold label 9.8. That's about a $10 raw book. It's actually still available, but it's limited to 3,000. So you want to pick up that variant one. And then there was a Virgin sketch cover.
Yes.
And they're all graded.
Yep.
All of them. They made 97 of them and they're all graded. We did something similar like that with the boys, remember?
Yep.
Where they were all graded. So the only way to get this book was to buy a graded one, limited to 97. Interestingly enough, Alex, 96 blue label, 1 gold label. So somebody cracked cracked it open.
Yeah.
And resubmitted it.
Yeah.
Somebody reholdered it. Those are selling for $550.
Woo.
So
that's only available. So you see it. There's 97 of them. That's it.
I know. There's a very clever idea. We've done that. I think it's clever, and I will take some credit for doing that ourselves. So I think that does it for today. We thank you for joining us again. We hope you had some fun. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the field, and we will see you all next week. Same bat time.
Same bat channel. Thanks, guys.